Fuck, I love White Bat's shit, man. Awesome stuff. White Bat audio. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since I've done an afternoon live, but I figured I've got some time. Pop in here and see what everyone's up to. What's going on? What's important in the world today? Well, yeah. Tell me what is important. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like totally mentally drained. Totally mentally drained. Um, Politics are just like mind numbing. Mind numbing. We're having an election here, and the rhetoric on both sides is just fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. And people are so fucking oblivious to the narrative on both sides. On both sides, it's a fucking joke. And it doesn't help, obviously, with Trump and his tariff bullshit. I mean, that plays a huge bearing on what people think, on who they want to choose, but whatever. especially when it comes out of the woodwork all of a sudden and says, let's, Canada would be great as a 51st state. That rhetoric again. And, great timing, great timing. Hi, Michael. How are you? Great timing because we've only got like 4 days before we got before the voting ends and the tallying goes on. I just love it. I had to shut down, especially a lot of stuff on Facebook because of the fucking stupid memes that people fucking, wholeheartedly fucking buy into. On both sides. Both sides, the liberal and the PC, the conservatives. And I mean, I'll have to say most of it's on, people who are buying into the change bit. Yeah, you'll get a change. But, literally the change that happened like fucking 10 years ago has fucking resonated over the past 10 years. That's something the conservatives fucking started by cutting everything. Cut. And yeah, fucking Trudeau wasn't the best. I was never a Trudeau fan. But obviously he just made it worse. But like you said, people miss the narrative. They fucking totally are lost on the narrative. Both sides are woke, according to each side. You're woke. You're gonna fucking vote a fourth term. What are you, fucking stupid? I don't know. I mean, that's the extent of my fucking politics for today. I like I said, I'm brain numbed at the. It normally doesn't bother me, but this year, like I said, with the fucking stupidity that's happening in the States with Trump and his tariff and the hardship it's causing in the U.S., in many parts of the U.S., I mean, you're seeing it now. And now one of their largest corporations are coming out of the woodwork, Walmart, saying, look, if, you don't fucking ease off on these tariffs, the shelves will be empty. And you know what happens when those shelves become empty? People fucking panic. So, I mean, this is what happens. And that's when the preppers come out of the woodwork and say, well, you should have prepped. And on top of that, I haven't been feeling good the last few days. Got a little bit of a head cold going on. And yeah, it's been an interesting week. I haven't got caught up on anything. I wanted to mail out a whole bunch of stuff, including stickers, Michael. Yours is ready to go. I just got to mail it out. So I'll be mailing out a lot of shit Monday for sure. Monday, a lot of stuff will be going out, including your sticker, Michael. And once again, I want to thank you, by the way. Michael, thank you for sending those. Now I have to find a good spot for those, Michael. Hey, Mick, how are you? Mick, talking about stickers. I want one of your stickers. I'll send you one of mine. I mean, I've got a few left. I don't know where I've put them. The rest of them, anyways. But talk about stickers. The sticker god himself, Mick. How are you, man? And like I said, I'll be getting out a lot of stickers on Monday and other stuff that I said I was going to get out. I got a box going out to Brian Storms. I got a box for you, and I got a box for Jackie. Got to get a that box out for you. It's like, I got to get so caught up. I've been so busy doing shit I haven't been able to do anything, explores, investigations, nothing. And I really want to get out and do this shit. It like today, 20 degrees today. 20, I think it's going to go up to like 26, something like that. And all I was able to do today, let me see. Currently it is 16 and it's slated to go up to about 22 degrees Celsius. And then it's going to get chilly again for a couple of days and then rain. Rain. Yeah, it's spring. What do you want? So I was doing a lot of spring stuff in the backyard. I had to make sure I didn't have a critter underneath my deck. It looked like a critter had burrowed, and thankfully that's not the case. The spring stuff, cleaning up, getting ready for the summer, man. I can't wait for the summer. After this winter, it's been fucking shit. So I'm really looking forward to this summer. Um, like I said, of course, it's a warm, beautiful day out today, and of course, I've got a cold. Ugh. So yeah, what's the best thing for a cold? A beer. I should have bourbon, but a beer. So cheers, guys. Cheers. No, not a lager. Mm-mm-mm. Shar, how are you? Good to see you. Long time. Hope you're well. Um, yeah. So like I said, I really haven't had much time to get it and do much. I mean, obviously, I was in BC for a week, and since we got back, it's just been like total fucking chaos. Trying to get things back to normal, and yeah, it's kind of hard. Hey, Bud Files, how are you? It's been kind of crazy. So trying to get things back to normal has been a task, and hopefully soon. Because I really want to, because I think we are going to take the next step, and I don't really want to do this, but we didn't really want to do this, but I think it's in the cards, so we could start paying for everything for the live shows on Sunday nights, and we're talking about um, being taking it to the next level and being monetized, and strictly for the show. I don't care about any money. I would like to give you guys some class A material, content and live shows, right? Because our future literally with the show is are we going to stick with the New Visions radio? Are we going to stick with the radio aspect of the show? Because things have become more visual with our live shows on Sunday. So we're kind of debating on what we want to do after this season. Like the season's up in the first or second week of June. Excuse me, guys. So are we going to continue? I don't know. I love New Visions Radio Network, but do we take it to the next level? So do we expand the platform here on YouTube? I don't know. Is YouTube the right place to expand the platform? I don't know. Who knows? Hey again, Dave. Hey again. So I really don't know. And another thing that I've noticed, and I just is driving me nuts, and it has driven me nuts for a long time. Um, gee, I don't know why, but it just does. This whole, you know, calling out paranormal content creators. And rightfully so, because I mean, look, let's be honest. Why do you find the need to create content and say or claim that you're furthering research into the paranormal? Right? Bullshit. You're creating content for entertainment purposes, for subscribes, likes, and whatever else, money, whatever. You're not furthering paranormal research at all. Like, I'll tell you right now, a lot of the fucking shit that you see out there is not furthering the research at all. No, not at all. With all the parlor tricks, and God knows there's a lot of fancy toys out there now. They're fucking expensive. So number one, you get rooked into paying for these fucking, and hey, look I get it. They're flashy, they're cool. I've been duped. I bought some just for the sheer purpose of trying them out. And you never know. You never know. But I'll tell you, pretty much every tool that they say is paranormal based, you're not really getting much. You're not. And that's the hard reality of it. And a lot of people in the paranormal take exception to that. And like I said, if you're going to be providing content here on YouTube or any social platform, blah, 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 you have to expect people to come out of the woodwork and criticize and critique and scrutinize everything. Everything. And I'm not shooting down every paranormal thing out there. I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. There are some really good people here on YouTube that are, creating some content that makes sense, And I hate using the word debunking, but scrutinizing, right? Not, like me. I hate saying I've got some evidence. I hate the word evidence because you really don't know. I've got an interesting finding though. Let's test it. Let's try to recreate it. Let's do whatever we can. Boom, boom, boom. How funny every building they go to. Exactly, Dave. Exactly. Getting a good paranormal video is hard work because you don't always exactly sure. Yeah. But yes, Dave, exactly. But hey, Stephen, how are you? I'll tell you. Tell you the real researchers, the people that are pushing the envelope are outside that box. Aren't here on YouTube. They might have a presence on YouTube, but I mean, for the most part, their research is under the radar. There are some really good people who are producing some great findings, incredible findings for years that are pushing the envelope and making science go, let's look at that again. But I don't want to dwell on it, but there's a link if anybody wants to come up. You're more than welcome. We'll go for a couple hours anyways. Because if anybody knows anything about Canadians, It's hockey playoff season. And the playoffs are in full bloom. And this guy is watching them tonight. So I won't be doing a live tonight. I was thinking about doing a live tonight, but I said, you know what? I'm off today. I'll come on here this afternoon for a few hours and get caught up. But we are back Sunday with a new live show. Um, you don't
Hello.
look like Tommy Lewis to me, Dave. How you doing?
I have multiple accounts, Steve.
You're
I'm in
you're you're, you're
hospital.
mul- multiple accounts. How you doing? How's everything?
I'm in hospital, Steve.
Oh no way! You okay, mate?
No. Well, I had heart pains or chest pains. They took me to the hospital and did tests on me, and then it turned out that the tests were negative, but I was still having heart pains. And then they tested me for clots in my lungs,
Mm,
and they did that. It turns out there was nothing there, so they says they'll give me a diclofenac and a blood thinner.
yeah,
Wait until 9 and we'll CT scan you with contrast fluid. So they
yeah.
did that, and then they says, right, we're taking you up to the ward. And then when I went to the ward, I went straight to cardiology, and I went, oh shit. And then he says, we've discovered some fluid around your heart.
Ooh,
It
yeah.
says, and you've got fluid in the lungs, and you've got pneumonia, and you've also got pleurisy, a bit of pleurisy. So they
Ooh,
put me on antibiotics to kill the pneumonia, but then they says we're going to need to get a drug and put the drug on that prevents the fluid build up in your heart, but we can't do that until you've done the antibiotics course. And then when we put you on that, we're going to have to observe you, at least 4 or 5 days.
yeah.
But the only thing that's helped me getting out, I came in the ninth. The only thing that stopped me from getting out is the echocardiogram that they need to do. Plus, they discovered in my X-ray that I have a cracked vertebrae in my
Cracked
spine,
vertebra. Holy crap!
and I don't even feel the pain. I did at the time because I fell. I fell in the underground. Don't know if you know. Cracked my spine. Didn't. I
Ouch.
went to the hospital, got an actual X-ray, never showed up. And then, as I say, the only thing is that the orthopedics came out, so I had an MRI. I've had 4 ECGs.
Hmm.
I've had 3 X-rays. I've had an MRI, a CT scan, a bladder scan, a lung scan. It's just unbelievable. And then I'm still to get an echocardiogram before I leave. But the thing is,
Well,
the ward that we're in and now's got COVID, so the echocardiogram department is not taking anybody for our ward for the next couple of days, and they're closed at the weekend. So I'm going to be in here until Monday at least minimum.
wow. Well, you know what? They're giving you the once over to make sure everything's okay, right, Dave?
I've been scanned, and I'm seeing them in a blood test, man. Seriously, man.
Yeah.
Now I know what a dartboard feels like.
Well,
But I've been
the
poked
main
and
thing is
prodded, and
the main thing is you gotta get better, right? You gotta get better, and that's
yeah,
you know.
that's what I'm saying. Look at that. That's
Wow.
the stuff there. But I mean, but as I say, yeah, it's just I really felt really bad, really, really ill. But as I say, every time I was in here, I was struggling to I was too frightened to take a deep breath because I
Yeah.
was getting pains in my chest. It took a few days for the liquid in the heart and then the lungs and stuff. So it was pretty hard, really. But
Mm,
hospital food's not that bad. It's actually quite good. The people are good. The nurses are amazing. They're really good people. It's
yeah.
just me. But it's just need to wait until Monday.
Well, well, that's the thing, right? Make sure everything's good. Before you're released, and you're good to go, right?
Yeah, well, as I was saying about the paranormal stuff, Steve. I mean, I'll admit, there are people out there, right, that don't really get it, right? Now, it's like
No.
world wrestling, right? I know
Hmm.
what you're saying, Steve. You do have a point. They're not these people that have the paranormal channels. They're not furthering any kind of research into the paranormal. They're just kind of about it's like Ghostbusters for YouTube with people that don't really have a lot of money and can't actually make the film. So they just get the gadgets that there's a saying out there, Steve. Dazzle them with lies, I baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah, and that's the
And
thing.
I
Yeah.
think it's just it's what do you call that? Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, smoke and mirrors, exactly.
You know,
Hey, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know the difference, and I know a lot of people know the difference. Look, it's entertainment. You want, yeah, and that's what you. It is what it is, and you take it for what it is. You watch it as entertainment. But
That's what I do, and that's the
yeah,
thing, Steve. It's like professional wrestling. We all know it's scripted, but we
yeah.
watch it because it's entertainment. We don't we know it's no real, but the thing is, they kind of try and pretend that it is, but they can't say it's not because then they'll lose subscribers, and that's their bread and butter, Steve.
Well, that's the thing. We need to get some subscribers, and we need to get some likes, and blah blah blah. And I think it's up to the subscriber to understand that too, right? I mean, regardless, because you're
And
you're
to
gonna
be,
get you're gonna get people who are like hardcore debunkers, and there's a lot of that
yeah,
come
I
out of the
know.
woodwork and go, "Ha, I can debunk
Yeah,
that."
yeah. Well, the thing about that is, Steve, yeah, yeah, there's people out there, but they don't seem to get it. It's like people who
Hey,
go out there
Steve.
and try and, there's a lot of people that get, "Oh, I'm going to debunk this wrestling, I'm going to," and it's like, well, what's the point? It's just entertainment. So I think they just go out there and they do that to get a kick, so as they can get a boost to their channels. You know what I mean? So as their subscriptions go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely know what you mean. It's Yeah, it's like I said, I follow quite a bit, and I mean that's the main thing. But I mean, I have other interests, obviously, that I follow here. Everything from ufology to blah blah blah. But I mean, when it comes to the sort of the paranormal ring, if you will, no pun intended with the wrestling ring, but the paranormal ring. Um, you follow these guys, and you sit there and go, wow. Wow. And oh, and you want to say something, but you're like, it's entertainment. That's all it is. You
I
know.
know, Steve. It's like when you watch the film, right? You get people that watch films, right? And they know it's a film, they know it's like entertainment, and they try and you have to suspend reality when you're watching a Hollywood
Yeah. Oh,
blockbuster.
yeah.
It's like they jump through 25 windows and there's not a hair out of place, and it's like, yeah, right. But
Yeah.
it's like they just debunk it, and it's like, well, it's easy to debunk because it's fiction, it's not real.
Exactly. And
You
sometimes
know,
it's hard to bite your tongue and go, "Ugh," but hey,
it's cringeworthy sometimes, but
cringe.
there have been people have went out and have literally analysed it, and they've went, right, well, that wasn't there before, and that, like, you can see that that's been moved and stuff, and you're like, really? You've went out there and you've literally took that amount of time to really go out there and find inconsistencies in a video that is just made for entertainment. If you
I
get
think.
nothing better, I mean, is that how sad some people really are?
Oh, they go to the greatest extents to make things look good. I think one of my favorite things that I watch here and whatever you see it all over social media, or people who rig up their like kitchens or whatever, some place in the house, and they rig it up so things move, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And but people buy into it thinking it's real,
Well, I
without
mean,
a second thought.
well, that actually meant there's a people out there that sad that they actually go out there and they'll spend all their time. It's the sad people that go out there and try and really nitpick it, and they'll freeze frame it, and then they'll edit it, and they'll go, and you're like, oh, just get a life. It's entertainment at the end of it. And I mean, discussing it is one thing, but I mean, to get right out there and you'd spend hours just doing one video, just trying to debunk one 10 second of a video is just unbelievable. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why if you look at the paranormal algorithm here on YouTube is like in decline because a lot of people are just fed up with the clickbaits because there's a lot of clickbaits with the paranormal and
You know.
yeah, so it's dwindling.
I know that, but as I was saying about I was going to say something about there. Yeah, it's just entertainment, really. People just take it too seriously. It's
Way
like
too
it's YouTube.
seriously.
I mean, you get people that'll come in even in a debate
Hmm.
when people are just having a light-hearted, and they'll try and add an air of severity to or try and kind of increase the the importance of what's been talked about, and it's like,
Mhm.
lightheartedness and important conversations that are important don't go together.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like somebody who who's had some kind of weird experience, and they tell you and say, hey, can you explain, like, what the hell's this? And you get the personal experiences are like in abundance. There's crap loads. And you don't want to sit there and say, well, the experience you had, it's you're full of shit. You don't want to say they're full of shit.
I mean, I think ghosts, right? In my opinion, I believe this is my opinion. I mean, you can disagree with me that there is a God, there is a hell, there is a devil, there is a heaven. And I believe that a lot of these things that people, I'm not saying ghosts don't exist, Steve,
Yeah.
but they don't show up on demand.
They're not actors. Exactly. They're
you
not
know, I'm,
actors.
you, and when somebody sees one, they're probably not going to come back to that same spot. Residual energy can exist. I mean, yeah, there are repeat places like that, but I believe that if there is a demon, I believe demons can manifest themselves if they wanted to. They could, but why would they want to? Why would they even bother? Unless there's
So,
an
so,
agenda.
so you're saying you believe there are demons and they can manifest themselves?
Yeah, I think they can. I think if they want to, they can. But I think if you noticed how somebody said once, it's like if you noticed how every building that's haunted has an admission fee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I can tell you,
Um,
so many of them over here. Well, in the U.S., pretty much any place, you're paying. Out of you might as well sell your house at some of these
I
places.
know. I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist, but it's funny how somebody made a comment. It's funny how it's always ghosts dressed in old clothes. You never see you never see ghosts running about in tracksuits, do you?
Well, it's the same with you go to you say a European country, Asian country, and you do an EVP session, and the EVPs are in English. Why wouldn't they be in the language of that country?
That's true, but I do believe in EVPs though. But
Yeah,
then again, and yeah, what are you drinking anyway, Steve?
I'm drinking a IPA out of Quebec.
I'm not allowed any more alcohol, Steve.
No,
That's another thing I found out. I have non-alcoholic fatty liver disorder, which is causing. It was initially thought that the liver disorder I had was causing the cirrhosis. It's actually a different thing now, which means I have the opportunity to change things, Steve. I can change my diet. I can slow it down. I can even stop that progression. And you don't
ah,
always get that. You don't always get that chance. I mean, the primary
no,
biliary cholangitis that I had
yeah,
was when they said the medication isn't working, we'll send you for a CT scan with a contrast fluid before I came in here.
hmm
And then I actually got told to go for an appointment after that. And it was like the guy that was dealing with my case basically says it's not the medication or the PPC that's actually causing your actual cirrhosis, it's your diet. So I've got
Well,
the opportunity.
it's like my mother, same thing. She had non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. And
That's what I've
it
got.
yeah, it wreaks havoc. And it if anybody knows anything, it's you got to take it seriously. You definitely do.
Yeah. But
There's
I've
no
got the
doubt.
opportunity to slow it down and I've also got the opportunity to stop it. But the only thing is I'm going to really need to be extremely strict with my diet.
Hmm. Yep.
I'm not allowed takeaways. I'm not allowed anything. I have to every time I actually eat anything. I've got to look it up and find out how bad is this for my liver.
Mhm. Yep.
You know,
Stephen asks, has anyone seen a ghost cow or sheep? I've heard about people seeing ghost animals.
there
I
was a
see.
ghost dog
Somebody
somewhere.
had posted something. I saw something, a video of somebody walking away from a ghost, or sorry, a horse stable, and it looked like a ghost of a horse. But if you look at it, if you look, I should pull it up. I don't know where it is, but if you look at the video closely, you can just see it's just literally a reflection of the guy walking away on the camera. That's all it is. All it is. Ghost planes and automobiles Planes,
Actually, I
trains, and automobiles. How about that?
I
Ghost
read
sardines.
somewhere in England, it's down in England somewhere, is it Cornwall or
Yeah,
Devon, where years ago we used to have a lot of people that had money that before they were regulated, they would have lions and panthers and all the rest of it. And they brought in the Dangerous Animals Act where you had to be licensed and all the rest
yeah.
of it. And it was really strict, so they just kind of let a lot of the panthers and stuff go. And places like Devon and Cornwall, it's a well-known fact. There's actually mountain lions running about the place.
Yeah.
You know, they've been
Mountain
seen
lion.
by people. You know,
Do you guys have mountain lions there? You guys don't have mountain lions, do
not officially, but a puma, are a puma is a mountain lion, is it not?
you? Puma is a different color. It's more. It's pumas are usually
I
darker
think
in
it's
color, like black.
a dark coloured cat.
It's a
It's
dark
been seen.
colored cat.
People, yeah, I think it's a puma. I think, but they've been seen. It's never really. Even the cops have came out and went, be careful of these animals. So
Well,
I don't.
I know there's been sighting. Hey, Liam, I know there's been sightings here too in parts of Ontario. Black cats, large black cats, and they're not native to here. And I think the theory is that a lot of these rich guys they bring game in here for hunting. So they'll let it loose, and this is the problem. These guys let it loose without any realizing the repercussions. If this thing's able to fucking get out, and somehow, like you put a male and a female, and they start reproducing, you're fucked. They wreak
I
havoc
know.
on the local populations, right?
Well, they were actually talking about bringing wolves and bears back to the UK, and it's like, oh no, you know,
I had a
you
ghost
know.
poo.
Anyway, Steve, I'm busting for the toilet, so I'm going to need to go,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll
You take care of yourself, Dave. Thanks for coming up. Get well, buddy.
cheers, man. Bye.
Cheers. Take care. Yeah, get better, Dave. Dave in yeah in the hospital. So yeah, get yourself better. I think he said maybe Monday or Monday you might be out. Click the link if you want to pop on up. Completely open discussion, whatever you want to talk about. Just read the chat here. Yeah, I mean, there's a channel on YouTube, and he normally does fishing videos, but he's taken an interest in these sightings of these large black cats in many parts of Ontario, especially southern Ontario. Because southern Ontario, if anybody knows, northern Ontario is nothing. It's just like barren, not barren waste, but it's the Burrell forest, so it's heavily forested, and there's not many communities up there. But down here, there's a lot of forest areas down here as well, and there's been a couple sightings of these large black cats, and they're like, okay, no, that's not possible because they're not native to here. Are you sure it wasn't maybe a cougar, a mountain lion? Because we do have those here, and some of the video footage that's come out, clearly these cats are black, they're dark. And so obviously the theory is that it is quite possible that these guys, have lots of money and are looking for a thrill. So they import these cats and they set them loose in a local forest to hunt them down. And people just don't realize that, you know what? You're fucking introducing a species. Number one, it's not native to the area. Number two, it's aggressive. And it could wreak havoc on the local species like mountain lions and smaller animals. I mean, you always look at Florida with the fucking pythons and the trouble that they're having with the pythons there, right? And those were introduced, they were saying, probably during one of the hurricanes where exotic shop, was torn apart during a fucking hurricane, and literally they got out. And anything, if anybody knows anything about pythons, they reproduce like crazy. So their population has shot through the roof. So now they have locals fucking hunting these pythons down to kill them and get them out of the fucking ecosystem. But it's proven to be very difficult. I mean, even the local alligators in who had no, literally, other than man, they were top of the food chain. But these pythons, they get big, huge, and even some of the larger alligators find it difficult to fend these guys off. And they go after the small alligators, the baby and the eggs and all that kind of shit. So the numbers, I mean, a lot of the native species are fucking disappearing because of these fucking pythons. Totally wreaking havoc. Totally. So yeah. No, we don't have panthers here. No, panthers aren't native to this area at all. Like I said, we have mountain cats, cougars. I'll just let's see if I'll put it on the screen there. Yeah, sorry, I've got a fucking head cold. It's driving me nuts here. But yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of yeah. There is something paranormal going on there, Steve. There really is. But there has been a lot of sightings of these dark cats here. I don't know about other parts in the UK or whatever. That literally have. Hold on, let me see. Oh my god, this fucking cold is killing me here, guys. Let's see here. Okay. I'm just trying to bring up some examples. So, okay, just to give you an idea, I'll give you an idea here. We have lynx, and we're not talking about what Joe drinks. Lynx, the cat. So just to give you an idea here, I'll share it here. What lynx look like? In case you guys don't know what lynx look like, here we go. But like I said, I'm just gonna give you an idea of these large black cats that have been spotted here, and we do not. Let me just get a good example of it. And again, like I said, the theory is that they're being introduced. Hold on. Let's see here. If this is the video I'm thinking of. And the whole idea is the theory is that these things are being introduced into the area for hunting purposes. I can't find it. Anyways, enough of that. Um, yeah, so basically they're being introduced by people who've got some moolah, as a hunting sort of you know hobby, if you will. People love to hunt, so hey, give me something that I can hunt that isn't protected or on the endangered species list. I mean, not that lynx or um, mountain lions or anything like that. I don't think they're on the endangered list, but they're native to the area, so they don't want to like affect the population. So let's bring in something that you know uh, we know we can find because it's not native to the area, and we can obviously hunt it down, but they don't think of the repercussions. Especially if say somebody has already done that, and they've introduced a female black jaguar or whatever, and they decide to mate. They find each other, they mate, and bang! People in England claim to see black cat panthers, mostly since the dangerous animals license came to law. Yeah, it's just insane. It really is, and like I said, I always equate it to the stupidity of people who do this shit, because they don't think. They just react. They just assume that everything's going to be okay, and they'll hunt it down, or some other animal will kill it. Blah blah blah. No, these things are aggressive. Tony, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. These things are aggressive. You know, and in many cases, a lot more aggressive to some of the cat population here in southern Ontario, and that's like I said, lynx, mountain cats, bobcats, so on and so on, which are kind of smaller. They're smaller than a panther, right? And yeah, so we are supposed to have a puma or jaguar. Yeah, I mean, what's the deal, guys? What's the deal? I mean, is there some sort of like underground movement of people introducing these things into areas where they're not supposed to be? I mean, it sounds crazy, I know, but you never know, right? You never know. You never know. Click the link if you want to come up. Pinned at the top. I'll go for maybe another hour or so. But yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. Hold on, let me just check the chat here. And once again, I apologize. I've got a head cold. It is just wreaking havoc on me. Where are we? There we go. It's wreaking havoc. So yeah. Let's see. Forced cats murdered everything for miles around them. Neighbors mentioned how aggressive. Well, yeah, they are aggressive. People never film them. I always find that too when people try to film them. Some of the footage, like it's like Bigfoot. Shitty fucking footage. Shitty footage. Yeah, it's just insane. But I mean, obviously, and people a lot of people when they report these things, they're like totally naive. They haven't got a clue other than they're seeing something that isn't normal. Um, what am I seeing? And people will go to the extent and say, "Well, am I seeing some fucking crazy dire wolf?" No. Have you watched any of the new Black? I started watching it. I think I watched the first episode. Yeah, I watched the first episode. Okay. Okay, it wasn't great. But like I said, I gotta watch the next episode. I never really base it on the first episode, but yeah, it was okay. It wasn't great. Um, I love the first couple seasons, especially the first season was just incredible. I watch Will's eat an entire bus. Yeah. Yeah, that must have been pretty good AI shit, Tim. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched the first episode. It was okay. I wasn't like it wasn't great. It's just like, come on, what is Netflix doing to this series? Even last season it was okay. Last season, I liked it. I wouldn't say it was classic, but I gotta watch. Like I said, I gotta watch the rest of the season to form an opinion. So, all right, I'm gonna grab another ale. Anybody wants to pop on up, do so. I'll be right back in a sec. I will be right back, folks. Right back. Hold on. What am I gonna play? What am I gonna play? Well, I'm gone. I hope you gone that long. So, and once again, I apologize. I am not like I said. I got a stupid head cold. No, where is it? I know how much you guys love this shit. Oh, I better not play that. We'll get done. We got done so bad the last time. The last live we did. Friday Night Howl, we got done big time. Let's see. I'll play this for you guys. What's this here? Where is it? Okay, maybe not that. This guy turned where is it? No, not gonna play that. Did you get? Okay, hold on. A village near where I live in England used to have. Interesting. A lion. Here's a Waverly Ball. I'll play this and then I'll be right back, guys. All right, back. Um, yeah, I've The Last of Us. I haven't watched the new season yet. I haven't. No spoilers, please. I haven't got a clue as to what's gone on, but I have to watch it. What's in this light in that footage? Okay, hold on. It's an IR. It's a camera, I believe. Hold on, let me just bring it up again for you. So, are you talking about the light off to the end? Are you talking about the light to the top left-hand corner, Steve? That's actually a camera. One of their cameras there at the facility at Waverly Hills Sanitarium. If that's what you're referring to, the camera, the light. Central. The central light is actually off the light. It's reflection off the ball. That's actually the ball itself. And the IR light, the IR light is actually causing that luminous light off the ball. Strange shit, man. Like I said, interesting. We had some other stuff that kind of happened around the same time stamped around the same time as that was happening. And we were right next door to that ball. That ball, and I've mentioned this a few times on the show. That ball was actually propped on a quarter and had a chalk circle around it. And hey, Adam, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. It was actually moving around. There's absolutely no wind. It was so fucking stagnant. It was like I think 100, probably about 104 Fahrenheit. It was so hot. But we propped it up on a corner, left it alone, had a couple of cameras trained on it to make sure it didn't move. It moved, we captured it, and we did, which is kind of weird because we were looking through all the footage and nothing. Every time we went back to look to check to see if it had moved, it didn't look like it moved. And the reason why, oddly enough, strangely enough, after it was doing its little rolling around bit, it returned to the quarter. It was sitting back up on the quarter. That's fucked. Crazy. How do you explain that? I don't know. Like I said, it's I refrain from saying evidence because I just don't know. And I will always say it's an interesting find, and it is. We were like so excited to see that. It's natural. I'd love to say it was natural. But like I said, the ground was level. We checked with the leveler to make sure the ground was level. It was level, and it made no sense why it would do its little, rolling around bit and then go back. And it just, you would need a certain force for that ball to go back up on the quarter, to prop itself back on the quarter and stay. Weird. But hey, you guys go ahead, scrutinize it, be my guest. I encourage it. I really do encourage it. In fact, I encourage it with everything that I show you guys. Absolutely, Michael. I mean, that's a problem. You honestly, you really don't have the right to say it's evidence because you don't know. You're not an expert. That's where a lot of people in the paranormal are the furthest things from being experts. There are no experts in the paranormal. There's none. How can you be an expert if science can't explain a lot of this stuff? So then you're not an expert. And if you guys are hearing strange noises, I have my window open. It's beautiful out. It's, like I said, 22 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, but it's absolutely beautiful, gorgeous out. So I had to have the light up. Doctor, well, who the fuck is that? Tim, who the fuck is that? Vin. Steve, they put normal in its name. Yeah, paranormal. Yeah, Ghostbusters. Oh yeah, sorry, gotcha. Brain fart. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Uh, Brain fart. I gotta watch Ghostbusters again. It's been so long. I was glad to actually be able to visit the building in New York City last year. Last October. Last October, went to New York City, and that was the one thing I had to visit, and we did, thankfully. The firehouse. Yep. I mean, I have my T-shirt somewhere from that incredible place. It's still a working firehouse. It's still working. I mean, it was closed down for a bit and consolidated, but they said fuck you, open that back up, and they did, thankfully. So it is in the Tribeca area of New York City. And if you're ever in New York City, I highly recommend checking out the firehouse. Absolutely, yeah, Tim, epic, indeed, epic. Absolutely. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. I don't have any pictures on my computer, but I do have some here. And I don't know if you guys remember from Spider-Man Homecoming, Joe's Pizza. Joe's Pizza. Another place I had to check out because fucking New York is known for the pizza. And there you go, Joe's Pizza, which was in Spider-Man Homecoming. That was a must. Okay, so where are we? Come on. Of course, Ground Zero. There it is. There it is, man. Inside. Again. Firemen coming out. And of course, me outside. Right? There we go. So yeah, it was sign and all. It's still there. Even on their T-shirts, they have the ghost buster sign. Hook and ladder 17, I believe it is. Sorry, let me just see. I think it's hook and ladder 17. And for some of you who don't know, I mean, it's very close to Ground Zero, 9/11, and they did play a pivotal role in helping out as many of the fire stations in the area. Now, let me just see. Yeah. Hook and ladder 8, sorry. Such a great little place. And like I said, if you're in the area, I do highly suggest you do check it out. It's in the Tribeca area of New York. Did you go to? Yeah, absolutely. The Empire State Building. Yeah, we went there. Let's see. Let me see. You got some pictures? I got shitloads. I mean, I got to put some of this on my computer. But this is in the Empire State Building. But there you go. There's Statue of Liberty. Isn't that awesome? That's Jersey City in the background. So we're kind of like going around. We left. This is when we left the Empire State Building, like the actual island, because you can walk around the island. Let's see. I always love this shot. This is a cool shot of it. And then there's Ellis Island, which is pretty neat. Which is pretty much fucking abandoned except for the working parts. Ground Zero was just something else, man. Fucking just so surreal. You know? Regardless of what people thoughts of it, where one of the buildings once stood, and all the victims' names are etched in stone around, and it's like a waterfall, an endless waterfall. It just recycles, which is really neat. If you've never been to New York City, and again, there's the skyline there of the new Freedom Tower. Right. But Tim, you were asking. Hold on, I'll just give you a gist of like this is just absolutely insane. And then of course this guy here. While we're sitting down taking a break, this guy was entertaining. He would not leave that bottle alone. He just kept going at it and going at it. Pretty fucked up shit, but yeah. Okay, so you were asking about the Empire State Building. Oh, we went everywhere, dude. Um, we went to Yankee Stadium, which was kind of interesting. Here we go. Here's above. This is the Empire State Building. This is pretty much up top. Look at that. Uh, 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 and then we went outside, and it's just the walk around. Let's see. I mean, it's just. And again, there's the Freedom Tower in the background, Jersey Harbor, the Hudson. And again, the Hudson, Jersey there in the background on the other side, Hoboken, right? It's really interesting because I mean, flying over New York City, and then you got Brooklyn Bridge. You know, it's really intriguing. And then the Statue of Liberty, right there in the background, and Ellis Island beside it. And it's really neat when you're flying over New York City and seeing how small it actually is. Like the island itself is just there. You go. Look, like I mean, it's just so there's the Chrysler Building in behind there, and that's Queens in the background on the other side of the river. You know, let's see here. Yeah. I'd highly suggest it. If you've never been to New York City, it's worth it, especially the fucking pizza. Oh, the best pizza ever. The best pizza ever. Every pizza place we went to was just, of course, Joe's Pizza was great. I wouldn't say it was the best pizza we had. Here's a picture of the pizza that they had on, you know, at Joe's. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best pizza. I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it. I had better pizza. And I mean, we lucked out. We got a hotel right next to. Hold on, I got some vid here. I'm going through times. Hold on. There you go. A Flatiron Building. Let's go through just south of New York, Times Square. Let's see. Where is it? I mean, it's interesting the shit you'll see in Times Square, right? Yeah? Times Square. There's a lot of fucking craziness in Times Square. Of course, the crazy amount of taxis. I mean, the taxis still are fucking crazy. Let's see, is this in here? There's a Flatiron Building. A Flatiron. I don't know where I put that other footage I had. Let's see. I go through Times Square. And I don't normally do these fucking tour bus, but our time was limited. So we figured it's a hop on, hop off. So we figured we'd do it. And it took us down to because it took us down to Battery Park, which is where you can catch the ferries to go over um, to see Ellis Park, Ellis Island, and Statue of Liberty. So we took it just to get down that way because I mean you could walk down there, and we did walk down there. It's a pretty cool walk. You go through some interesting places, but New York's got such diversity. It's incredible. The diversity in New York City. Dick pic. No dick pic. Sorry to disappoint you there, Steve. Times Square footage. Yeah. And of course, I hit up every fucking craft brewery. I mean, hey, look at I'm me. I'm a craft beer guy, and one of my biggest. I love it is Other Half in New York City, and I was able to go to Other Half. Other Half has a few brew pubs there, and I was lucky to go to Rockefeller Center, where Dave Letterman used to film the good old Late Night with Dave Letterman, right? I mean, I went to New York City years ago, 2000 actually, the year before 9/11, and we didn't because I was going to a convention in Tarrytown, New York, which is about 40 minutes north of Manhattan, to see Goblin, of all things, Goblin, the Italian Steve, you'll know Goblin, to see them play. And of course they didn't show up, though Claudio did show up with his new band at the time, Demonia, and it was great, but it wasn't Goblin. But still, I got to I got to chat with people like David Hess, who I remained friends with for many years after, up until his death. Sadly, great guy. I stayed in touch with him. Him and I talked quite a bit over the years, and I remember sitting down with him and Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Gunnar's son, and David's son. Actually, we sat down at a bar there at the hotel, and we were just talking about whatever. It was great. It was just amazing to see these guys in the natural environment, away from the bullshit. And those of you who have been following the show know that we've had David on the show a couple times in the past, before he passed away, and you guys got to hear, because it was only on the radio, got to hear that normal, that sort of normal everyday guy. I mean, he was a musician by trade, more so than an actor. He has been responsible for a lot of music that played in music and commercials and so on and so on. He wrote music for Elvis Presley, that he's got his names on. I can't remember offhand which tune or which tunes, but he's written a lot of music for a lot of people, um, and he's well known for that. And of course, he wrote the music for Wes Craven's Last House on the Left. One tune in particular that sticks out is the Ice Cream Man, the ice cream truck scene where he wrote the music. So yeah, let's see. Click the link. Click the link if anybody wants to come up. Don't let me talk by myself here. Don't let me rant and rave about stupidness. It was good. We'll go for a little while longer, maybe another half hour. But come on, guys, don't be bashful. Click the link. Talk about whatever. Let's see here. It's gotten quiet all of a sudden. Yeah, everyone's away grabbing pizza. Get rid of that. All right. I don't know. Okay, well, if nobody's going to come up, I'll end this. What the hell? Another 5 minutes. Unless somebody comes up, then I'm just going to end it. But yeah, I would highly suggest going to New York City if you haven't been there. I mean, it might be obviously a little different now because of fucking Trump, but there's a lot of fucking misinformation going out there about traveling to the U.S. You just got to be careful. That's all. You know, they're being a little bit more strict about their policies about entering the country. So you just got to be vigilant. That's all. Just make sure you have all the proper documentation, and make sure you tell them where the fuck you're going, and show them proof because they will ask you. They will ask you, where you staying, how long you staying for, blah blah blah. Are you on business or pleasure? They are very very adamant about that stuff now. Before they weren't, but they are now. They're enforcing it because they've been told to enforce it. All right. Take care, Tony. Good night. Good night, sir. Good night. Yeah, to El Salvador, right? To El Salvador. Uh, oh, awesome, Steve. August 24th. That is cool. 60th anniversary. Wow, that. Thanks for sharing that. All right, I'm gonna call it quits. Nobody's coming up. So okay, next, well, this Sunday night we are live with a new show. Alex and myself. So we'll be back Sunday night. Until then, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and leave your comments. Until Sunday night, guys, take care, be well, and we'll see y'all later.